Am I the a-hole for yelling at my mom to leave me alone after she kept saying I stink even though I shower twice a day? Pretend that there's an intro video here. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little soft-spoken video where all I do is just read, am I the a-hole? Let's get started. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my mom to leave me alone after she kept saying I stink even though I shower twice a day? So basically, my mom is constantly telling me that I stink. Okay, Mom. Or that I need to shower even when I literally just got out of the shower. I shower twice a day, once in the morning and then again after I practice, use deodorant and wear perfume. It's gotten to the point where it's making me really insecure. Of course. Can you imagine your mom telling you you stink all the time? Like, I don't know where this is going, but I know that some people use things like this as like an abuse tactic to make people self-conscious about certain things like their smell. It's like a way to make you constantly seek reassurance from them. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but something along those lines is a thing. I've even asked my friends, even as early as 5th grade, if I smell bad, and everyone says no. But my mom just won't stop. Sometimes it's right after I've showered. Like she'll say, "Do you shower? Well, it doesn't smell like it. You need to take another shower." And sometimes she even bends down to smell me, and it's just so stupid and infuriating. That is so mean. That's cruel, honestly. The other day, she said it again, and I finally snapped. I yelled at her to leave me alone and that she's making me feel terrible about myself. Good for you for standing up for yourself. My dad says I overreacted. Of course he did. The complicit father, we know. The enabling dad, we know that story. And that I should have just ignored it. But at this point, I just want everyone to leave me alone. Darling, I'm sure you don't smell. Your friends would have told you. Honestly, I used to know a girl who really stank. And people did actually tell her several times at school because it was difficult for them to even sit next to her because she had such a severe smell. It's definitely something people will tell you if that's something they feel, and it's constant. Your mom is being horrible. There is some people who, you know what, before I give my opinion, let's go see what the comments say. So someone says here, she's doing it on purpose. Exactly. If your friends say you're fine, you're fine. Turn it around on her. When she starts, sniff and then tell her, no, it's you. Not the a-hole. The a-hole is your mother. I agree. Another person says, I feel like the mother is trying to nag and wear down OP to make them feel bad about themselves. It's a classic narc abusive move. Exactly. I agree. And then another person says, yes, a friend who was severely had a mother who did this. Even at age 40, this beautiful, brilliant woman thought she smelled. That is so sad. That poor woman, says another person. She deserves so much better than that. A woman posted in one of the subreddits, I don't remember which one, something similar she was experiencing with her boyfriend. He was doing it because his dad told him that if he kept insulting the woman you love and you keep them emotionally beaten down, she would never leave you and he could do whatever he wanted to her. That is so sad. Another person here says, I had an employee that stank. HR had to talk with him because it was so bad. He was even sent home to shower. Well, it turns out it wasn't him. It was his clothes. Either he needed to wash them more often or he was leaving wet clothes to molder in the washer before drying them. I mention this because just make sure it's not your clothes. I mean, I guess that's fair to sort of check and see that it isn't something that is actually a problem. And but something tells me that if you live at home with a mom who's constantly sniffing you, she's probably the one doing the laundry, I would assume. Another user says, let your mom know she may want to have her doctor check her for medical issues, autoimmune, hormonal aging. If she still thinks you smell after a shower, maybe something is wrong. Alternatively, she might just be an a-hole. This is true. People mentioned as well that perimenopause, for example, could cause these issues, so maybe she's going through that. But if this was a thing all the way back to 5th grade and you're now like a grown teenager, I doubt it, to be honest. I'm going to say that the mom is the a-hole, and let's move on. Am I the a-hole for not paying more than my fair share of rent because I make considerably more money than my roommates? I recently moved into a house that I'm renting out with my significant other and 3 friends that were really down on their luck. We all agreed on paying our portion of bills and rent, split 5 ways. Sounds fair. Then my girlfriend let it slip how much money I get paid. Did she let it slip, or was she bragging about her man? I'm not here to gloat, but it's upwards of $100K annually, and I get commissions on top. That's really good, but honestly, in today's economy, you might still not be able to afford eggs. Now my girlfriend and my roommates are trying to reason with me that I should pay around 2.5 times what we agreed on beforehand, because it isn't fair that they have to pay a considerable amount of their monthly earnings while I put in an amount that doesn't stress me out at all. I can see where they're coming from, but I'm not budging. Does that make me the a-hole? I'm going to go ahead and say immediately that you are not the a-hole. I would, however, do it. I know what I'm like. I know what my friends are like. We're very generous people. If I had the money to help relieve my friends of burdens by paying an amount that would not really matter to me, I would do so. I would take the nicest bedroom, and I would claim a bathroom for myself too. But I would very, very much do it. So I don't think you're an a-hole for not doing it, but I would do it. Let's see what the comments say. Your girlfriend sucks. And then another person says, for real, I'd get rid of her and the roommates, move out and let them have it. And then another person says, I guess at least she's showing her true colors early on, and those true colors indicate that she's going to be pretty unfair about money. Well, define fairness with money. People aren't fairly paid. There's a lot of people working very, very important jobs, like nurses, like teachers, and in many countries, even doctors. My cousin, when she was doing residency in England, they were working hours of unpaid time, for example, because if they didn't, people could, so they did it out of the goodness of their hearts because they're doctors and they care, right? Point is, there can be people that work really, really, I for one think teaching is such an important job, but teachers are so notoriously underpaid, and we still need them. I don't think saying well, I should have thought about that before you became a teacher, as if we just accept it, as if, anyway, the point is, who decides what's fair when it comes to money? That being said, these people are not entitled to your money. I don't think that they're in any way entitled to you paying more. But if they are truly your friends and it is an amount that would not stress you out at all, I just don't see why you wouldn't do it, honestly. That's my opinion. He then goes on to say, if OP is being asked to pay 2.5 what he was originally going to pay, and if the rest of the rent is split between the remaining 4 housemates, that means he's paying 50% of the total rent for 5 people, and his girlfriend and the other housemates want to pay 13% each of what the total rent is. Yeah, okay, that is true. That is not fair. I agree. There is no way any reasonable adult thinks this is fair. No. And the girlfriend knows this. She's trying to take advantage of OP, probably because she doesn't see the relationship lasting. Well, now we're getting into conspiracies that I don't want to read into. I will say, though, and this is my opinion, and you can call me a gold digger if you want, but if my boyfriend is making 100K plus commissions and we're living with first of all, we would not be living with 4 other people, me and a boyfriend, because we would be having a lot of fun around the house, and I would not want other people interrupting. But let's say we were, if that's my man and he's making that money, my man is already covering my part of the rent, because if you're my man, that's something you want to do. So, but that's just what I believe. You know, people are entitled to their own relationship dynamics. I like men who provide for women. You know, that's what I like. She's trying to take advantage of OP. Well, if she's paying her own rent, she's not taking advantage of OP at all, actually. Probably because she doesn't see the relationship as long term. If she did, she'd be trying not to pee off her boyfriend unreasonably so that she can ride that. You know what? I'm sorry, but there's too many conspiracy theories here. Honestly, I think there's this idea that women are always trying to like rob men or something, and I just find it silly. That's silly. Annie bets she's sleeping with one of the roommates and trying to save him money. A person says to that, do your feet hurt? Because that was quite a leap. Yes, exactly. This is the problem with Am I the A-hole? Like, people really do be jumping to conclusions on this subreddit, because come on now. Another person says, yeah, she definitely didn't let it slip. She started a coup on purpose. If she was uncomfortable with the income discrepancy, she should have talked directly to OP. I do believe in a relationship that things should be more income-based. However, as far as roommates go, that's not the case. First of all, I don't think she wanted to start a coup. I think she was bragging about her man because she was proud that she had a high-earner husband or boyfriend. You know, she was probably just feeling proud of her man. That's what I think. Also, these are not just roommates, they are friends. And again, nobody's entitled to anyone's money in this scenario. But, I mean, if it's an insignificant amount of money to you, why not help out the people you love? That's my opinion. Let's move on. Sorry. Official verdict is not the a-hole, but help out your friends if you can. And I want to say before we move on, if this is something that you would never do for your friends, you're either probably not a very great friend, or your friends aren't very great for you to not want to do that for them. I wouldn't even hesitate for my besties. I wouldn't think twice, because I love them and they're family to me. Okay, am I the a-hole for crashing out because my friend called me a passport bro? We'll see. I'm male, 26. I've been with my boyfriend Luca for 5 years. Basically, we met when I went to Italy for a photography project, and we clicked really fast. I'm fluent in Italian. I've been learning since I was 10, and he is 100% Italian as well. Romantic. I love Italy, even though I've never been. 2 years ago, I moved in with him in Italy. I'm so jealous. A week ago, we visited Canada, where I'm from, and stayed at my friend Emma's house. She was basically all over Luca and flirting with him and everything. You mean Luca, your gay boyfriend? Luca told me he was uncomfortable, and I told her to stop. And then she started swearing at me, saying stuff like I was creepy for going for Italian men. Luca is legit the only Italian man I know. Then she called me a passport bro. And then she was like, you're effing creepy because he has a more feminine and younger face. So basically you're attracted to younger Italian men. Girl, what? That is a leap, girl. The jumps this girl jumped. Exactly. I'm sorry. What? First of all, why are you hitting on your gay friend's boyfriend? This is giving like histrionic personality disorder. Do you guys know what that is? It's characterized by dramatic attention seeking and often inappropriately sexual behavior. Because what is this, honey? Why are you hitting on your gay friend's boyfriend? Why are you hitting on any friend's boyfriend, mind you? This is so weird. Luca and I are the same age. Listen. What? And also, so what if he was younger? Like, I like younger men. I like older men. I like all handsome men, you know? So what if he's younger? People have gotten so crazy about age caps. Like, people act as if there is more than 3 years between a couple now, one of them is abusing the other person. And it's just not like that. Like, y'all need to get out and live life a little, because this online echo chamber, like, it's clear that you just live your life through the internet when you think that way. Anyway, and she was like, you're not teaching him English so he can be clueless and you can feed your white savior complex. Italians are white. I hate to break it to you, but Italians are white. At that point, I crashed out and said some not so nice things and told her she should lay off on the Omegaverse yaoi she's reading. I don't know what that is, which was kind of out of left field for me to say, I admit, but I was mad. Now she's mad and got our mutual friends to gang up on me. And Luca is saying I should apologize, but also set boundaries with her. Am I the a-hole? No, go back to Italy. What is that? That is some white refrigerator bull crap you're dealing with. White refrigerator, that's a Real Housewives of Atlanta reference. What is going on? That is insane. No, leave. Go back to Italy. Leave that friend. Don't talk to her again. That's so crazy. Listen, take it from me. When friends act crazy, take that for what it is. Trust it, okay? Because people who are crazy can ruin your life. So you can't be friends with people like this. I think, honestly, if she is half as crazy as she appears to be based on this, I would apologize, pretend that things are fine, go back to Italy and slowly phase out that friendship. And I'm not saying that to be deceitful, but because you have to really be careful with crazy people, how you deal with like ending friendships with them and stuff, because they can really, really do damage. I've had people who have really, really hurt me because they felt rejected by me. Well, because I did reject them after they were acting insane. But yeah, not the a-hole. Let's see what the comments are saying. Not the a-hole. Getting upset with your friend happens when being insulted by a friend. Exactly. Right. Another person says, not the a-hole. She was the a-hole the moment she started flirting with your boyfriend. Then it sounds like she was projecting. She's probably jealous because your boyfriend sounds pretty cool and even trying to play fair for your sake. I don't know what they mean by that. Forget about her. She's not a friend. I agree. Not the a-hole, says another person. Just what? How does she act like that and think she's in the right? Exactly. And the fact that your mutual friends are ganging up on you either means this isn't the full story or your friend group has severe brain damage. Collective. She only told them about my yaoi Omegaverse comment. I again don't know what that is. And they genuinely won't listen to my side of the story. Throw them all away. They're calling me an internalized homophobe. If anyone sounds homophobic, it's your friends. Ditch them all and move on. Am I the a-hole for being upset that an old teammate took credit for our public art project? Already know. So creativity is sacred to me. Taking credit for other people's work is like a 7 deadly sins worthy for me. So let me start over. Am I the a-hole for being upset that an old teammate took credit for our public art project and now wants my help on their new one? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, let's get into it. My partner and I proposed a large-scale public sculpture. Our idea was accepted and we brought on a guy named Z to help build the structure. I handled all the proposals, design documents, safety plans, budgeting, and insurance. Insurance was a nightmare to find. My partner wired a custom circuit and coordinated the code with several CS students. Zed built the mainframe to house the electronics. Zed built the mainframe to house the electronics. Sorry, I don't speak building language or whatever this is. We decided to list everyone involved in the project on a signage at the show, 12 names, because we believe art is collaborative. How very beautiful. Heck, I went out of the way to ask the venue to reprint the signs in order to make sure everyone was acknowledged. That is beautiful. After the show, I was the one who found storage, organized transportation, and dealt with logistics. Z refused to help. Eventually, I was able to get the college to keep the piece and display it. A few months later, the college published articles and put up signage crediting Z as the lead creator using text I had written. Oh my God, my inner, I don't even know, is raging right now. This would, refusing to help on a new project is not even the extent of it. And I already know that this person is going to downplay it, because uncreative people always downplay plagiarism. Have you noticed that? People who cannot create, people who need to steal, always diminish the impact of theft. This makes me so mad. I didn't know about this. Well, obviously not, because this person is a sneaky snake. My partners and my names were moved to the side. Z also gave incorrect technical info and didn't credit the CS students who helped. It's giving that professor where you do like a PhD on something or whatever, and then they take credit for it. Do you know what I mean? Now, Z says the college media wrote the articles that way for marketing purposes for the CS department, and that it wasn't his fault. Well, if it was going to be marketing purposes for the CS department, then why didn't the students at that department get credited? That makes no sense. But he admits he read the article and never corrected it. Of course he didn't. Of course his little thieving, conniving, prideful heart didn't do that. Snake. Recently, he's been asking me to send him my design documents and logistic info so he can use them to apply for his own art project. Someone call the cops. He didn't even tell me it was for that until I questioned him. It is the same event we are applying for. I told him that felt hurtful given how he handled the last one. My partner and I feel taken advantage of. We worked for months to make this project happen and gave credit equally, only to have someone else take ownership publicly. Am I the a-hole for being upset and not wanting to share my materials with him now? The only way you would be the a-hole is if you did give him that now. Don't be an idiot. Oh my God, you are not the a-hole. You need to find your boundaries. You need to find some ground and stand on it. You need to open a business to stand on business with this person. Some people, they go through the clearance rack to find audacity, and that's what this person did. I am so angry on your behalf right now. Oh my goodness, no, you are not the a-hole. Don't ever send this person anything ever again. Don't ever work with them ever again. Don't ever recommend them to anyone. Don't even speak their name. Don't even give this person the exposure of having their name come out of your mouth. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely disgusting. I am so angry. But let's see what the comments say. Someone says, not the a-hole. Ghost this a-hole. I hope you have contacted the college and asked them to correct their online publications and their records in light of the documentation you attached. Exactly. Not the a-hole. Don't give him anything. He burned that bridge when he took credit for your work and didn't correct it when he had the chance. You did all the heavy lifting and he's trying to use you again. Protect your work. Exactly. This person wanted to borrow your work to apply for something that you were going to be a part of too. Oh my, how could you even consider that that would make you an a-hole? What kind of angel are you, darling? I feel like I need to come in and protect you. I need to come in and be like, hey, don't mess with my little sis like this, or little bro. Don't. I'm furious. Another person says, not the a-hole. He's asking you for a favor. You're under no obligation to help him out. No, and you know what? Listening to how you've been speaking so far, I think you would have helped him out otherwise. You sound like the kind of person that helps out your friends, but you have to know which friends you help out. That's such an important distinction you have to learn to make. Actions have consequences. He made an ethical decision, an unethical decision, to take more credit for the project. He now needs help and burned a couple of bridges with those who could have helped him. Exactly. Don't you build the bridge that he burned in this case, because the only thing he's going to do is he's going to cross that bridge, take your work, walk back over and set it back on fire. That's what he's going to do. Do not let him do that. And one final comment here says, not the a-hole. The irony of this is that in order for him to do his new art project, evidently he needs your help in order to do it. And his style of collaboration is poor enough that it has left you feeling unwilling to help him. That to me seems like a very natural consequence of his own lack of honor. Exactly, lack of honor. That's a great way to put it. When you steal, when you plagiarize, you don't honor the purity of art. You don't honor the divine inspiration it requires to create something. That's also why I heavily dislike people who create from AI. You might think that AI is helping you create, but AI only knows what it has plagiarized from other human beings. So when you use AI to create, you are plagiarizing, because AI cannot create. It can only use what it already knows. And don't get me started on that. Okay. I am sure that the consequences for him will be relatively mild, but the best thing you can do for yourself in this situation is to turn away and to not look back. Exactly. I have a colleague who's exactly like this. No matter how honorably I behave towards her, she is always taking credit for things that she did not do, both in front of me and behind my back. That's because people like this, you need to really get through your head that people like this are not normal. They have personality deviances that will always make them be cunning and choose whatever will benefit them, and they have no qualms about it, because to them it's dog eat dog. It's a rough world out there. It's the winner takes it all. Doesn't matter how you win. People like this you cannot be friends with. It's exhausting and it's painful to experience over these many years we've worked together, but I have to stay true to my own behavior and my own standards and not baseline my own measures of success off of her lack of ethics. Exactly. And people like this will have you betraying yourself over and over again. Official diagnosis, not the a-hole. Okay, that's all I have time for today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you like this style of video. I can easily make so many more of these. It's easier than the food videos. So yeah, love you guys so much. Please subscribe. Bye.